I'm Geoff Nemnich.
And I'm Rick Paillet.
And we're the hosts of The Last Stand. Coyote hunting is my passion.
And coyote calls are my livelihood.
And together we aim to bring you the best predator hunting tips, tricks, and tactics, right down to The Last Stand.
The Last Stand, presented by Lucky Duck Predator Calls. We are the masters of deception. Swagger Bipods. Shoot with confidence, shoot with swagger. OnX Hunt. Know where you stand. Hornady. Accurate, deadly, dependable.
Well, it's hard to believe another season of The Last Stand is about wrapping up, but we're here in West Texas to finish up season 4. So one of the cool things about this hunt is my oldest son, Creighton, gets to make the trip with me. Creighton's been hunting with me for many, many years. I remember, first time he went coyote hunting with me, he was probably 3 years old. I was giving him piggyback rides in and out of stands. He killed his first coyote when he was 5. So, by most people's standards, at the age of 15, he's already a pretty seasoned coyote hunter. But nonetheless, he's never been to Texas either. So I think on the ride down, we had about a 15-hour ride, and his main goal was hopefully to get a chance to kill his first bobcat down here. Now down here in Texas, obviously high rack trucks and night hunting has always been something that's been big. It's something that I've never got to experience. So that was one thing I was really looking forward to on this trip, is to see what these high rack trucks were all about, hunt with lights, and see what that has to offer. After talking to Wade a little bit, he said a tactic that they actually use is hunting out of high racks in the daytime a little bit. And just, some of this brushy, thick country, it just allows you to get a little elevation. And by maneuvering the E-call and getting it downwind, upwind, kind of getting, the truck out of the line of sight as the coyotes, are coming to the call is an effective technique that, predator hunters use down here. So day one, we have a long drive to get out to the ranch. And lo and behold, right about the time we pull in off the main county road into the area where we're going to start hunting, we get a flat tire. Well, we finally made it, Creighton.
Yep.
We're in West Texas. Wade Chandler with us, Ally Outdoors, Texas Predator Hunters. It's been a rough start to the morning. I was going to introduce you guys to the Toad, which you're going to have to see it a little bit later, but it's the big Texas high rack truck we were going to hunt off of. We got a flat coming into the ranch, rough oil field country, debris, stuff like that. But anyway, got a truck coming to fix the tire. It's going to take a couple hours, so we're going to park in here. We're going to do some stands walking in. Got a big draw that kind of runs down through here. Really, like Wade said, it's really inaccessible except to walk in anyway. So this will be a good part of the ranch to go hunt right now while we're waiting for the flat to get fixed, and
That's part of the plan.
then we'll get after it. You gonna shotgun him?
Yep. I'll try.
First Texas coyote with a shotgun?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Pressure.
So once we get the flat tire fixed, it's close to lunch and it's getting hot. The temperatures are picking up, and obviously in this type of country, when it gets abnormally warm, coyotes tend to shut down. And what I mean by shut down is they just don't respond to the call as far as they normally would, meaning you have to pretty much sit up right on them within a couple hundred yards. And in the country we were hunting, in order to do that, you had to get in the really thick stuff, which is not great for filming and trying to bring you guys great footage. But we tried it to see what we could do. We did have a coyote kind of come in. Creighton was running the shotgun. It just was in and out so fast. We probably saw the coyote for about 1 second. And then at that point we realized, as hot as it is, as windy as it is, maybe we try to turn gears here, change gears, and maybe try to get out at night, try to call some coyotes in the high rack with the lights, and maybe they'll be on the move a little bit more once the sun goes down. So we drive back that night. We get back a little closer to Wade's house, and lo and behold, if the weather doesn't hose us again, wind starts blowing 20, 25. But we decided to make a few stands anyway. Came up a little short, but we decided we'd go back, regroup, and come up with a plan for day 2. Wade and I start game planning. We're looking at our phones, we're looking at the weather, and we notice on day 2 that it's going to be super warm again, abnormally warm, like low to mid 80s, but with tons of wind. So we decided, you know, instead of going out trying to spin our tires all day, let's make a few stands in the morning, kind of right around Wade's house, and then we'll kind of go back, take a nap, regroup, and then we'll get up and then hit it that night. Hopefully the wind will die down. Hopefully, you know, the coyotes will be out on the move a little bit more. So rolling into our second stand, we're just looking for cover, essentially. We found a tank battery that we could hide the vehicle, which is always important. We got down in there. There was kind of these low-lying draws, and down in there, it doesn't look like much if you just looked at it from a distance, but what you get is in these low-lying little draws, the grass is a little higher, there's just a few extra mesquites in there, and that's where the best cover is, and that's usually where the coyotes are gonna be.
Right here, in the grass. See him? See him? He's got his head sticking up.
Nice. Great, rolled him with the shotgun. I really thought that coyote was too far. I think, you know, it worked out great for the camera because, you know, the coyote showed up and he was kind of right behind this tree, and I thought he was going to go for the wind, and I thought Wade was going to shoot him, and then he just kind of turned around and kind of made about a 20-yard circle out in front of the call. I really didn't think Creighton was going to shoot. He was just getting ready to stop, and I was going to shoot him, and I got to watch Creighton roll him up with the shotgun and scope. We earned it. We earned this one. It's just been, yesterday was just one of those days that you just got to push the reset button. You got to put together a new plan. You got to adapt to the weather and the conditions and try to figure out what's going to be your best plan to get some coyotes killed. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. And it paid off. Second stand of the morning. First coyote of the trip. It's your first Texas coyote, man.
Yep.
You killed a Texas coyote before I ever have.
Yeah. That is true.
So after calling in our first coyote in Texas, we're excited. We think, you know, maybe we can get on a little bit of roll, but lo and behold, we make 3 or 4 more stands. Don't see any other coyotes or bobcats or anything like that. The wind picks up. We decide to head back and regroup for the night in the high rack with the lights. You know, we're grinding, we're working, you know, we're cranking out stands, and just for whatever reason, we just can't call anything in, you know, and it's tough. You know, I was going deep into my folders that, you know, in most scenarios throughout the entire season, I probably don't play more than 10 different sounds, no matter where I'm at. On this trip, it tested me, man. I was going deep into different folders, just trying to find something that might work. But sometimes that's the way it goes, blank stand after blank stand. So our last morning in Texas, we make about an hour-and-a-half drive. We meet up with Joey, which is a friend of Wade. They've known each other for a while now. Joey hunts a lot of coyotes and fox and all kinds of stuff in this area, and he lines us up a nice little ranch to go to that morning, and the plan is we're gonna try to kill us a gray fox. As we get out there and start hunting, it's a little bit different type of day. The previous 2 days, it was warm, windy, sunny. You know, we get out on the last day and it's overcast. It starts drizzling on us. It's just it feels like a different day. So we're hopeful that maybe, you know, different weather conditions, maybe have the animals moving a little bit more. Maybe it'll increase our odds of calling something in. So first stand of the morning, you know, when you're targeting grays, a lot of times down here, they like, the guys that hunt them a lot like to look for the right kind of cover, you know, whether it's little rock rims, more brush. It just seems like the gray fox are more conducive to living in those type of areas. And this stand, we actually walked up over this little rim and we got down on kind of this rocky canyon side, and started calling. Well, we had 4 guys on stand. I'm sitting there with Creighton with shotguns. Joey goes around kind of on the upwind side, and then Wade kind of sat up on the rim up top a little bit high, kind of covering the downwind. Well, just a few minutes in, we hear a shot and a whack. We know we have something. We're anticipating it's going to be a gray fox, but once the stand was done, we actually walked up over the hill, and Wade, to his surprise, shot a coyote. So we're plugging along, cranking out stands. And pretty soon we get back into the rut of blank stand after blank stand. And after we killed that coyote on the first stand of the morning, we went about 5 stands in a row without seeing anything else. Kind of a drizzly rain sat in on us, which didn't make it too enjoyable. But you know what? We knew we only had the morning to hunt, so we're gonna push through it. We finally got down onto this big wash that was in front of us, and a place that Joey said, you know, usually pretty good for fox and bobcats, and you know, just because of the cover and the thickness of the vegetation and things like that. About the 3-minute mark, I'm playing Lucky Pecker, and I notice Creighton down below has a little bit better vantage point looking up the draw to the left, and I notice they see something. Wade and I hadn't seen anything yet, but just about a minute later, here we look across the draw, and we see a bobcat cutting through the trees at about 80 yards. Right in the bottom. It's gonna be right in the bottom. Cat right over there between the trees. I mean, if he comes all the way to the Coal Creek, could kill him probably in those cactus. You know, at that point, when you have a bobcat within that 80-yard mark, sometimes, you know, I don't have a whole lot of experience calling in bobcats, but the few that I have seen like that, sometimes it may take them, you know, just a few minutes to close the distance. Sometimes they just check up out there and don't come any closer no matter what you do, and you have to shoot them with the rifle. But it seems like a lot of times if you're a little patient and you work that remote a little bit and you work through different sounds, you can just keep closing the distance on that cat. You know, you get his attention for just enough and he closes the distance 10 or 15 yards. And then you might have to switch sounds again and he'll close the distance another 5 or 10 yards. And that's exactly what I had to do. We worked this cat for about 15 minutes, but we finally got him right to the call, and Creighton was able to shotgun his first bobcat ever. Oh yeah, Creighton's on it. That's just a touch too far. If we get him down to this next group. "20 minutes, man. That was 20 minutes into that stand. We saw that bobcat, what, about 90 yards over there, 100 yards, like 4 or 5 minutes into the stand. They actually saw him come from the left and he just worked his way up. That's my experience with the call. You see him about under 100 and then it takes you 10 minutes sometimes to work him the rest of the distance, you know. I just kept going back and forth from a little squeaky bird and a different bird, a little rodent, little rabbit. He'd come, he sat over there, what, 60, 80 yards just licking the rain off himself for a long time, and they check up, and here they came, and I was working the decoy a little bit. I'd hit it and let it go a little bit, and kind of finished him there that last little bit. That was awesome, man.
Look at that thing. Look at the claws.
What was that, about 20 yards?
Yeah,
Look him right down.
he was just sitting there wiggling, and I'm like,
You did great.
I should have let him tackle it. I should have let him tackle it, but he would have taken off running.
No, we had a great angle from where we were. We had to call on him. That was
Oh, that's
awesome.
sick, dude.
Well, you're only a gray fox away from the Texas trifecta, man.
Yeah, the predators.
All with a shotgun.
Yep.
Well, obviously it wasn't the barn burning, you know, grand finale episode we were hoping to bring you guys, but it was a great experience. You know, got to spend 3 days with my son, got to meet some great new guys, got to see some awesome new country. We'll be back for sure. You know, this ain't the last time I'm gonna be to Texas. We've already talked about plans to come back and do this again at some point in the future, so stand by for that one. We know the hospitality down here has been amazing. You know, Wade and Brooke put us up, fed us. You know, Brooke cooked some amazing meals for us. And while we're on that subject, Brooke, I know you guys are watching this. Wade would like to know if you'd marry him. Now, if you're watching this, you may never know what the answer is, but maybe Wade will jump on the comments of this video and let everybody know what she said. Well, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed season 4 of The Last Stand. We've sure had a blast filming this season for you guys. You know, put dang near 100 coyotes on camera in 5 trips, which is, you know, phenomenal for us. And we got to see some new country. We got to meet some new people. So hopefully you guys enjoyed all the episodes. You know, stay tuned. Season 5 will be coming out next fall. We've already got some plans in the work. Rick and I got some new places we're gonna go. Might even touch on some old places we've been before, but we're excited to put together a plan and bring you guys some more footage. Well, over the course of the off season, feel free to rewatch all these episodes. You know, nothing like a good rerun, but if you're looking for more coyote hunting content, I do put out a podcast called Eastman's Predator Pros. You can find it on all the podcast platforms. I'm sure Creighton and I might actually get on here and do a little podcast about our adventure down here in Texas, but going to be bringing you a bunch all summer long. Every couple weeks those will come out. So if you're looking for more coyote hunting content, check out Eastman's Predator Pros.